Hello everyone and welcome back to the next episode of Transport Fever 2 Island Mode, where in the last episode we got a whole load of ferry routes set up, particularly around this area. We've got fuel being produced in Filey, how's this going? Filey fuel, why is it? Oh, is that the way that... Oh, because it's doing cross transfers of fuel, road will allow it to do that. That route needs more trucks, clearly. Yeah, the rate is 700 and... yeah, I can do the maths and that's more than 700 we need to send. In this episode we're going to look at getting more places connected up, but might be a little bit more inventive with transport modes. Yeah. What about getting some planes in? You know, those things that fly through the sky. Those could work, couldn't they? Yes. We're going to get some planes. So, we're going to get an airport here in Sawbridgeworth. I think I haven't used these city airports before. They do look kinda interesting. Don't know what sort of planes we could run to these places. And the other thing is, we probably want to connect this to Epsom just because it's kind of over there. But I'm going to do something a bit inventive. I'm going to get a train station in. So, that's the front of the airport. That's that, and then you just want a really small train line. We're not going to electrify it. It's going to be quite a weird operation, this. It's going to involve some little bridges, but you know what? Why not do something different? Just connect to the... yeah. It's going to be... for now, we're literally just going to build it single track. Maybe with a passing... well, to be honest, we're not even going to get a passing loop in right now. We're going to leave that till later, if it becomes busy. Also, it's possible we'll end up trying to send cargo down here. So, it's possible we'll need to add double track bits, passing loops, or just try to do the entire thing as double track, but anyway, that's the bridge we need for that bit. That's kind of, I think, the only bridge we need. It's just this entirely disconnected rail line. So, is that... yeah, it's whatever. It's not going to be a fast rail line. It does go really quite slow there, whereas if I just do that, then it speeds up a bit, but to be honest, we are going to make it follow the road for this bit. There we go, that's the bend, and then we can get it to bend round here. We have new train bits, most of those are electric for now, so not particularly useful. Anyway, we need to get the railway line through this little kind of small narrow section of land here, and then bring it across here and into there. So that is an interesting rail line. To be honest though, I've realised something, it's kind of laggy, which is actually a connection to Sawbridgeworth, the town. So it kind of just is running to the airport. I'm gonna rebuild this because we've got enough money with another station kind of in the mix of things in Sawbridge Wood. There we go. There we go. That works. Could also get a little side entrance if it fits in here. We do fit the one that's stylized for the station can't fit. The one that kind of the generic one will. So it doesn't. It kind of steps into a wall right now, but it connects. That connects to this. There is still a little bit of a lack there. Right. Where do we put the depot? We can do a small depot. There. There we go. We're literally going to get one vehicle. We're going to go to our diesel multiple units. How generous am I feeling? Should we just go for a pacer? These are real life British trains that don't run anymore, but they were fairly notorious for being cheaply built. So these are 7.8 million, 1.3 million a year. Those are a bit more expensive. Yeah, let's just get a pacer, why not? And we're going to get it on a new line, which is literally just going to go along this route, back again. That is one way of doing things for connections. So, we've got an airport here. We want to fly them probably to somewhere over here. Now, if we could fit an airport in this area, that would be quite handy for the connections. And you know what, we can. Now, how well this connects up here is another matter, because we've got trains which do connect, yeah, but it doesn't get down to the boats. We could try moving this into here somewhere, which might require a little bit of terraforming, just because the land is so awkward in here. You kind of just like something in here. We can make it a bit deeper. This might require a bit of smoothing now. If the game to update itself, adjust, there we go, right, a bit of smoothing, right. And then we can't delete that, but just get a little dock in there. Hopefully this still connects to the station. No, it doesn't, but could like try like a diagonal road. That does connect now, good. Everything connects to everything, right. That one, we get rid of it. We go to there, and get rid of that. We'll leave the road in just as a kind of relic of where it used to be. Right, and then we can get those things that fly through the sky, known as planes. Would be more convenient if it didn't do a figure of 8 shape. Can we change the runway direction? Now these are a bit less convenient. Easy to work with, so yeah, we might be stuck with it doing that. Oh, that's fine. So line 2, that's, I'm calling it Bolton to Sawbridge Worth. There we go. Goes to Sawbridge Worth. Yeah, that's what it's called. Bolton to. I'm going to rename this to Bolton. Bolton Airport. Bolton. Could also do like a bus route into Bolton or something. I don't know. But it's connected to the trains. So, we want a plane. What planes can we... Oh, this is a small airport. Yeah, we might actually want a big airport. That might be a little bit of a push. Which one's the normal one? Oh, it is actually a similar size. I think if I change the landing direction, that should change where the runway lights are, and then we can get that in. Good. Does that, and then here, be a similar size. Oh, it's a bit bigger. We can just pretend there is land here. Let's just make land. There we go. If we change that to left again, does that make the plane route? Yeah, that's better. That's nicer. Right, there we go. There we go. This is Epsom to Sawbridgeworth. There we go. Right, so now should have a better option of planes. There we go. We'll go for a 737, I think. A classic plane for our first plane route. So that is really us experimenting with experimental forms of transport. I wonder if you're going from Epsom to Bolton, whether it's quicker to do that or to... Yeah, right, where else could you do with an airport? This whole complex here, this area, I do wonder whether we could do something in a similar style. Because, yeah, a few towns here. I'm going to play with something. Let's do a similar setup. Can I just get the landing direction to flip? That might help fit it in, other than the existence of the mine. We can get that in, but I'm not quite sure how we're going to get the road connection. Might be a little bit better. The train, the other train, right? Will fit in. Can get a road. Great. So same sort of thing. We're going to get a little unelectrified train line. Lovely. Why is it not working there? Which was 2. And then we bring it in. Yeah. Okay. 2 platforms then. Just going to go into Enfield. Around here. We're going to go, you know what, why not go for a double track? We've got enough money. And then it's going to have to kind of do a bit of an interesting bridge or tunnel setup to then get to Raunds. Interesting term name. And then into Eastbourne, which, well, we're just going to get a little bit destructive to get a train station in. There we go. So, how do we get a train line through? We go down here. I mean, the road does bridge over, but it doesn't need to. There we go. Class 158 now. That we might use that on this line. There we go. This is another going to be not particularly fast or efficient, but it is going to connect. There we go. Let's do a split crossover. And then just need to run down towards Raunds. That's what it's called, isn't it? Yeah, Raunds. There we go. That was pretty easy. And then it's this connection here. Let's go back to it later. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting track layout. It's going to have to kind of loop back round on itself. That's fine. And then if we go like round to here, you know what, we're only going to build one bridge though, as in a single track bridge. And we'll build one bridge even if it was double track. That's not a very good word to use. So if we go up here, yeah, it's quite nice to have some pillars like this style. What you can do is bring it down here, so if there's shipping traffic that needs a tall bridge, it can go through there, and then yeah, that's going a bit too low. Yeah, is there a way we can raise... No, that's dipping too much. There we go, that works. Now I can connect into there. I can start running towards... That's a bit of a dip. Mainly because the reason is it's coming down off this and then trying to adjust itself. Let's do a bit of smoothing. See, although we might be building this line like we have no money, we do actually have plenty of money. For some reason the smoothing is, oh, because we're going down below water level. Let's just rebuild this. So we're not going down below water level. This game can be weird sometimes. There we go. Is that the correct? Yeah, that's the correct side. Right, let's redo this. So we're not. There we go, that's better. So that's another train line, which... What on earth is happening there? Okay, right, let's just do literally like... Let's do it left-hand running, because why not? Let's literally put one signal there. One signal there and leave the rest to the stations. Quite frankly, it's not going to be a very busy line. So... Two platforms to choose from there. So I'm going to run up the left-hand side. There we go, that's good. And into Eastbourne. And then gonna run back up the left-hand, what is now the left-hand side of this way. Into Upper Enfield, this side. There we go. Should have made those one-way signals if I wanted the route to behave on creating it, but that wasn't too difficult, so it's fine. So Enfield to Eastbourne. We need a, or even a big train depot that will probably go for a little one. We can bring it in to this here. So it nicely comes into the junction there, right. And then we'll get 158, because why not? There we go, it's unelectrified because cheap. Right. We could still get ferry routes across, but we now have an airport. So, we can fly to here, using the other terminals what they use here. So nicely, not crossing over itself, so Enfield to Sawbridge Worth. There we go. Let's get another 737 for this one. And then from there to here. Can use the other terminal there. This one does have to awkwardly cross over itself, but that's, you know what, that's fine. See, might be causing emissions from all of this, but I mean, hopefully we're not flying low over too many towns. They do have to kind of cross over Barrow, but not low. So, Enfield to Bolton. This airport's probably going to turn into like a hub. And again, saying that, I'm not sure how we're going to fit more terminals in, but it'll be a fun thing to work out. Did we get a plane on that? I'm not sure we did. Yeah. So, you now have those set up. We have people waiting for the train here. Ripon's going to feel a bit left out, isn't it? So, to avoid Ripon feeling left out, we're going to go back to the old classic way of doing things, which is to use boats. You know, those things that travel across the water. And it would be nice to kind of connect into all of this, but it's not going to be the easiest job. But it's not going to be the easiest job. I have no idea if it's even possible without... Could go kind of a bit mad and kind of bring the water around. Just getting a lot of people waiting to go to the airport. Yeah, that makes sense. Load new vehicles. You know, one you can figure this to flip the landing direction. Even though that will mess up my plane routes. Not that one actually. So now both of the ones flying to here cross over. If I was to, yeah, the problem is I would need to go out into the water for that. But I could do that and flip the landing direction here. Terraform that land backwards. Looks weird, but okay. And then all of my plane routes should not cross over. Aha, yes, that's great. Right. It might take more than just putting a harbour here, but we could try this. We need to run a road right down the edge of the... Not run a road that close to the edge of the road. Okay, we can run it that close, that's fine. Not sure why all these are the old roads. Right. That does not connect. That does connect, actually. That does not. So... what we can do... It's like the cheekiest thing ever. This is going to take some time because lag. But we can push forward these pedestrian entrances. Which, yeah, it's going to take forever at this rate, but let's just do another... kind of another row after this. And then if we do this, we can then make it look like it's closer than it actually is. Kind of a cheeky trick you can do. Oh, that's collision. Right, if I just bring it to there then. Right. That still doesn't. That does connect. That, yeah, that connects to both. Right, wonderful. So that can then go out into the water, over to Ripon, and then continue to Eastbourne. Why not? That's a fairly big place. And we can even make this nicely connect to the train station here for onward travel. Wow, it's almost like we're planning these things. So fairly basic ferry route. We're only using the small harbours, so we might have to choose boats accordingly. Sawbridgeworth to Eastbourne. There we go. the boat depot around Ripon somewhere. There we go. So, small. By small, actually something small. I don't think it's going to be that busy. Yeah, whatever this thing is. Let's get it, go for it. For now. We might change it in the future, but I don't expect it to be particularly busy. Could also, my thought is to get a route from Enfield to Barrow, given they're close. I mean, they can kind of fly it, and it's not that long, but you know what, I think I'm not afraid of outcompeting my own routes. If I just set up something that doesn't connect to the that is silly. Let's get it to connect to the train station for, you know, onward travel connections. There we go, that connects to the train station just about. Doesn't connect so much to the town, but we could get bus routes around here, right. And then we send it down this way to Barrow in Furness. Now, this has a bus route, so I'm not even going to bother connecting to the train station. I'm just going to get the shortest water crossing. That connects to the bus route, that connects to that end of the town. That'll do. There we go. So that's Barrow to Enfield. Where did I put the boat depot? I put it somewhere. I put it there, right. Let's, because I don't think we're giving enough emissions to the people of Barrow and Enfield. Let's give them some hovercrafts for that route. How's the Sawbridgeworth route doing? Decently. Okay, that route looks busy. Yeah, the train here is doing alright. It's profitable, mainly because it's cheap to run. This route always has so many... Why is it still stopped? I feel like the timetable, if you had the timetable set on this, maybe that's causing some issues for some of them, right? But yeah, this is always a busy one. But maybe the fact that they can now fly places from here means from Epsom they go down to here. I don't know. We could get an airport here. We could get an airport in many places. That's a busy route. Just check Shoreham to Penrith what the timetable mod is saying. Let's just turn off the young bunch. I'm sure they're spaced out enough. This one probably could do with some smaller boats. Because one of them is full. The rest are very much not full. It's like a good capacity. Oh yeah, 1,675 maybe. No. Let's get the hydrofoils. Why did I only replace one of them? Let's replace all of them. Now faster Hawley to Chichester. Hopefully that's enough. Maybe we could get a couple more. We're gonna hope they're unbunching off and turn it off. Maybe we'll get 2 more. The capacity. Right. Whitby. Bus. Get some new ones. 15. Let's bring it up to 24. Why not? Another train I was doing here. Do we need more airports over this side of the map? So it's quite close to all of these areas. Maybe Staines gets an airport. There's plenty of space out the back here, to be honest. As long as it doesn't try to snap to the road, we've got enough space. If it does try to snap to the road, then it'll go awkward. Right. We bring this into here, and then into here. All we would probably want to do is either extend the bus route or get a new one, but I think we'll just extend it. Even though if you like here, let's do a new bus route. You can connect onto it from the other bus route. This bus route can also cover more parts of the town. There we go. Once you start here, you loop around there, and then you run up this way, you run up to the top here, and then up to the airport. Let's call it Staines Airport Bus. And if you're coming in on this bus route, you just change buses. You might have to walk a little bit, but or change here, but works fine. Yeah, you can connect from there to there. Right, let's get a couple of buses on this. Let's get the bendy buses. That feels proper airport. And then we actually need to give them a reason to go to the airport by flying places. Let's fly over to Bolton, use this as a hub. I am going to delete this just to get an extra passenger terminal in, mainly because all the other places have hangars. There we go. So we might have to start sharing terminals there at some point, or modify the train line. We could modify the train line, to be honest. Anyway, Staines to Bolton. We need planes, or a plane at least. Let's keep going with the Boeing 737. They do cross over. Do we want to stop them from crossing over? Slightly goes into the water, which is annoying. There we go, that's better. And that should nicely. Yeah, let's slightly rearrange this train line now. We've got a moment. Let's make sure we have got catenary selected now. Bolton Airport's going to be our hub. We want more terminals. Can we get a double track through there? That might be pushing it. Oh yeah, we can. Playing with speeds a bit, but whatever. There we go. Let's get some signals in. Try build this slightly neater. Now I know it is doable to get the tracks through. We might just try to do it at a slightly different angle, like that angle there. But now we're redoing everything, right? Okay, so we connect into there. That connects into there, and we connect the other tracks, and that is good. Signals back in, it works. Right, we have plenty of terminals in here, so that should be running over there now. Yeah, awkwardly to get to that airport from nearby Chichester is kind of a bit of a trek. But we could build an airport in Chichester. Or here. There's quite a lot of population around here. Yeah, go on then. Airport. I'm building loads of airports. Airports, 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 more airports. You even have buses back and forth between these two places. And guess what? They can... Given we're going to build the airport near the main road, they can stop off. We might be at risk of deafening some of the town with this airport placement, but you know what? Whatever. We could give them some nice road upgrades, to be honest. Let's go for some nice road upgrades. There we go, nice road upgrades. And yeah, we'll also do some bus route upgrades. So we put a stop there and there. We're going to change the route through here to actually cover more of the town. And we'll run down there, stop off there, it will then stop up there. So we could just get rid of that bus stop. We're going to mess up this route, let's just mess it up. Can I go across here? Upgrade these roads. Yeah, so we could do a bus stop there. Bus stop there. Down there, and then yeah, you can stop there, and up here. There's nothing, so can stop there, but first we'll stop up there. Right, does that kind of cover all the town? Well, actually, why did I delete that bus stop? That one we do want. That one we don't. That one we don't. There we go. Hopefully between them all, we kind of cover the town. Right, Penrith to Darlington bus. Let's get rid of non-existent bus stops. So after Church Road, we kind of loop around to King's Road. We then do the loop round here. And after Park Road, we kind of come here and into here. Here. Oh, that's on the wrong side of the road. Better, there we go. Richmond Road, and then there. There, right. Better. Are those buses still good? These can go slightly faster, yeah, why not? Slightly higher capacity. So from here, it does feel kind of reasonable to go to Staines, particularly given there isn't a great ferry connection. So from here to here, does that do a figure of 8, or does it do it nicely? That does it nicely, good. So that's Staines to Darlington. Let's get a play. We will adjust plane types, plane numbers, everything once we actually have some good passenger usage data. Basically known as letting the route go for a while. Right, and then we can also send this up to wherever it is, this one here. Well, we might need another runway at some point. That does a figure of 8. You know what? Something has to. Turn to Darlington. That is nicely there, right? And then we'll get 1737 until we know what to do with the route. Given Bolton is a bit of a hub, try squeeze in a second runway. Yeah, it's going to be terraforming, deleting a road which we're not actually using for. It's an old truck road that we're not actually using anymore. So we just... Oh, this is taking so long to delete. The connection will be interrupted. Don't worry, I will get the main connection back in with a nice fancy asphalt road. Oop, it doesn't like it in that bit. I'm being nice to you. I am being nice to the road. This road here, we're just going to delete. There we go. Righto. And then, yeah. I mean, right now that does kind of work. Still preserves everything nicely. So... let's just do it like that. There we go, and then more capacity here. And the other airports, I don't think any of them have more than 2 routes. Right. Do we upgrade these trains? They have 87 capacity. Right, what do we have in terms of electric multiple units? We have these. I must admit that's kind of tempting. Or we could go for these. Which suddenly then stops the train. Bradley Stoke to Newcastle is not a particularly busy route. We even go for a 3 coach. We could. Which then stops that. So, what on earth is happening here? You replace a train that suddenly decides actually I have nowhere to go now. Just stop me in my tracks. Yeah. These Newcastle to Wakefield, Newcastle to Hawley. Which is still locomotive. Oh, we have an Airbus A320. We can finally get rid of those boing planes, right? Oh my. How many routes go here? Ah, yeah, do we need all the vehicles? That's not where the crude oil comes from. Crude oil has a rate of 976. Sending out 800, that's too much. It's 200 from each. If we'd like sell a weird number of vehicles, but quite frankly, that will do that. It might start to go up again once we ease off the vehicle numbers. Yeah, once again, we're sending out a maximum of 800. There we go. Iron ore. See, that one we don't have enough vehicles. Right, now we can have a look at finding capacity. It just seems to be getting vehicles in and out. We got newer vehicles, so coal. Oh, that's those. We can do 38 all cargo, which should also maybe be faster. In which case, if we get rid of 5, that's a good number. Right, crude oil. Those can have the nice tankers, which can carry 45. That gets capacity way up. So, if we sell 5, how does that go? 824. You know what? That's a good number. Iron ore, same again. We can replace the vehicles. Which brings it up to 941. Sell 5 then. Now, they are longer vehicles, which is then meaning the changes of having fewer vehicles is kind of, it's not as significant, but hopefully that makes improvements. They are kind of evenly spread, distributing themselves between entrances, except for the fact, yeah, they are kind of spreading themselves, but not enough. They're just queuing too much to get in. Do we need more platforms? Another platform on this side. Coal. So each time in Bradley Stoke branch you've now got platform 1 to use, including this one, because it uses 4 twice. We'll make it default to it. Iron ore. Stoke branch. Yeah, that's kind of a repeat. Whatever happens. But yeah, let's allow them to use another platform. Might reduce stuff a little bit. Not sure we've really got much space on this side. Now here's the thing, all of these routes are dropping off, so we could just get a load of truck unload stops for where they're coming from. Like this, for example. We could just get a truck unload stop on either side of the road for Bradley Stoke crude oil. There we go. And that just stops on the way through. Right, coal is doing a similar thing, but we're going to make it stop over here, which still connects to everything. Yeah, given we're only unloading, just separate it into loads of truck unload stops, which is a little bit less flexible, but do have their advantage. And then this only comes in through here. So quite frankly, Bradley Stoke branch, time use 4, don't use 1, 2, 3. Use this going on this one, don't use 4 and 5, and they don't cross over each other, they're just in and out. That might work better. Let's see. Got a load of trucks. Yeah, see, these are going to be a bit slower on the unload, but we have also just got queues of trucks in general anyway. So, yeah, I think this might be the solution. Yeah, I'm going to delete this platform now. Just got 2 on each side to use, so they're kind of the they're actually kind of advantaged by having more capacity than the other routes, but you know what, congestion has kind of cleared, so that's worked. Right, is there anything else to look at before the end of the episode? Probably not. Train lines doing fine. This truck route here, it's got very old vehicles, which could do with being replaced. So that has doubled the rate. Oh, I see. So we're having issues getting through the level crossing bit here. Genuinely, that truck unload stop is on this side of the train line. I'm not sure why it needs to. Why we're actually making it cross. We could make it like not cross over at any point. Just pause, delete that. Got a road there, put it back in on there. We could then change the road layout to run more down that side. There we go. There's fewer vehicles on the level crossing there. So it wasn't affected, really. That still does cross over for that, but hopefully that reduces congestion on the level crossings. Bus route has to do this one, truck route has to do both of these, but in the opposite direction as well as that one has to do. But that should just like reduce the sheer number of vehicles crossing over here, which is good. Right. Got some old vehicles on Redhill Stone. Reckon that could easily. So where are they going? They're going round to there. That is doing 200 a run. So quite frankly, if that rate is anything over 200, then we can reduce the number of vehicles. I think. Was it 400 we want to get it off? Let's sell 10 anyway. I think because they do one at a time, it's actually 200 we want, but we could just send more from here. There's no reason why we can't. Cement here, 38, that's not a lot, but it is something. It's 47 here. We could try send them into Bolton. Where do they want them? They want them near the train station. Brilliant. That's very easy to do. Should we send them around here? Yeah, easy. From here, either platform. Hopefully this train line doesn't get too busy. And then down into here. Whichever platform it feels is best. Because quite frankly, it's not really much difference how it approaches, whatever. Bolton bricks. I know it's construction material, but bricks is easier to say, type everything. So I'm going to be lazy. And we can get a class 87 even, a nice fresh locomotive with probably not that many carriages. Not sure why we're bothering with such a prestige locomotive then when we could get something that's cheaper. Bolton bricks, there we are. We have got the cargo platforms in here. Be rude not to. Could even look at doing a slight adjustment here. Oh, that doesn't really work on the level crossing, does it? We get this into here. That can still connect, actually. Yeah, that road crossing is annoying. No, that's a horribly tight crossing. Cutting, and it doesn't need to be tight because it's not a signal it's trying to merge in for, so it still doesn't want to use it, but it's intended to there we go. And it just makes it slightly easier for them to flow in. How? What was the best way? There we go. Whatever. Track's still a bit of a spaghetti mess, but yeah. Still got all the stuff going on around here. So, as this plane route gets very busy, I think we can look at plane capacities in the future, but that's kind of the sort of thing where I'll just go round between episodes going, what needs more planes, bigger planes, whatever. Let's switch. Ooh, that's actually quite a bit of a larger capacity. Okay, yeah, you know what, the busy ones can get a nice Airbus A320. Maybe this one could even. Is this one busy down at Staines as well? Not as busy, you know what, leave it. Staines Airport bus. Could even get a third one. Right, let's end the episode here. So thanks for watching. A lot of progress with planes, and we'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.